107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
I'm Lenny Green, joined by the actor Darrin Henson, who's about to expose and introduce us to this hot new movie. I understand that opens up this Friday. It's called Chocolate City. Please tell me and tell all of us, what is this flick about? And ladies, bring it a little closer to me because you're definitely going to like this. Trust me.
Chocolate City is about the subculture of male exotic dancers.
Say that again? The what?
The subculture of male exotic dancers.
It's a lost art form.
Yes.
Well, but now I understand now in Atlanta, and I know you spend some time down in Atlanta.
It's massive.
It's really crazy. Once a month in Atlanta. It really is. I spoke to the manager of a hotel down there because I was trying to do an event down there. He said, man, I can't even let you have this date because we have a male exotic show, and I need another hotel just to do this event in.
It's huge. One of the guys that stars in the film, his name is Bolo the Entertainer, and he kind of runs the Atlanta market down there.
Does he?
And it's a subculture that is so strong and so massive, which I think helped birth this movie. The movie is directed and written by Jean-Claude Lemaire. And he wrote a film that was basically a family-oriented film about a young man played by Ri'chard who walks into this club because the family's having a hard time paying bills. Okay. And D. Ray Davis plays his brother and says, look, I got an idea, man. Let's talk to this guy, which is played by Michael Jai White, who owns the club. And he says, look, why don't you come? And he thinks he's going to get a job as a busboy or a bartender. He said, look, this is amateur night, and either you're going to go and get on stage or you're not. And he jumps on stage and just the crowd goes crazy. And then clearly, he gets all of this money and he just figures out he hit the jackpot, and then it rolls out. My character, I play a character named Magnus.
Also,
yes,
a dancer.
Yes, also a dancer in the film, and he's one of the senior dancers. And if you know really anything about the subculture of male exotic dancers, they have a problem with newbies because you get a newbie who's hot, he's taking the money, and there's only so many dollars. It's only so much rain that happens in the club in a night.
Really?
Yeah. So once the dollars are gone, it's it's the end of the night. So if you got a hot dancer go on before you, you may not have that pot of gold that you were looking for before the hot dancer went on.
So we should say, to learn about this, it's kind of a double standard because the women are kind of looked upon as bad if they should be dancers, but men are not looked upon as bad if they should decide to dance. As a matter of fact, I'm sure there's quite a few ladies that may appreciate the art form of exotic dancing especially from a black male perspective, because it really is not prevalent in every place these days. Yeah,
well, it's really, again, it's really interesting. I've entered a few of the clubs when we were doing the film just to do some research.
Right,
but I can tell you right there, no matter how many men are in that spot, estrogen runs the building.
Oh, no question. There's no question.
I mean, 300-400 women in there. You are still the minority as a man, and they are running the building. And I just, what I saw and what I experienced in there was amazing. When we were filming the movie, I was intimidated, to be honest.
I find that highly unlikely. So it's a subculture of exotic dancers and male dancers. We should specify. We know in Atlanta alone is the backdrop Atlanta for this particular film.
Yes,
it is.
Yes,
and Atlanta is really the backdrop for exotic dance. Period. I would know because on a couple of occasions, I happened to have visited a club or two. It was no. Let me be clear. Let me clear, ladies. Not a male club. No. I don't do that kind of clubs. But but it was Magic City.
Well, they got the hottest strip clubs in America.
In America, there's no question.
Make it clap.
And I was I was quite overwhelmed and quite impressed. But I used to. I'm not going to expose that tonight. I was going to say I used to dance, but we're not going to do that. But I'm happy to know that this movie is coming out. And what was the purpose of the director and the writer actually, moving on a project like this and bringing it to the fruition?
I think Jean-Claude Lemaire thought it was time. There, as I said, it was a subculture. So again, there is a pre-existing culture that's actually happening. It's so massive and so huge. He just thought it would be time to bring it to light. Clearly, you know, with Magic Mike coming out and doing what it did, but nobody told it from an African-American perspective. And really, you know, comparing the African-American experience to what Magic Mike is almost kind of like comparing Stomp the Yard to Bring It On. It's just two completely different experiences.
Two completely different. I agree.
So he wanted to be honest and transparent about really what's going on, you know, within that genre of dance. And it's huge, it's massive, and it's not always nice. Let me say, it's not always comfortable. It's not always safe. It is always interesting, though.
I'm sure it is. There's never a night that is not interesting.
Yes, sir.
But we should also mention: is it something? It's a subculture of male exotic dance. Can obviously the bottom line is money, but also the bottom line is not to get caught up in it. And I think that's the hardest thing, to walk away from tax-free great dollars when you're making that kind of money in the course of a night. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about thousands of dollars in one night.
Well, I mean, if you remember, in Atlanta, there were some strippers that were actually, the IRS was after them.
Well,
so I mean, it happens because they do make so much money. I mean, at times people walk around with garbage bags filled with money. I'm sure somebody's being taxed somewhere, whether it's the club or someone else, but there is a lot of money at stake.
You have Carmen Electra.
Yes.
And you have Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox.
And please tell me how you're dealing with this situation. Who's playing the lady opposite you?
Well, I have 400 women playing opposite of me because I'm one of the dancers in the club as well.
Right.
But really, Vivica Fox actually plays the mom to Robert Ri'chard's character, and Carmen Electra plays the DJ in the in Chocolate City, which is the name of the club itself. Yeah. And you know, again, my female characters that I play opposite of this time is 400 different women. So it was a great time, and it was a great opportunity for me to grow and learn what life was like as an exotic dancer in a club. So, which for me was one of the reasons I took the role, because it was completely different from anything that I had ever done before.
Darrin Henson is with us tonight, the star of Chocolate City.